So it's been a little while since I did a video, and I want to start off by thanking anybody who's been working behind the scenes to help either me and or my family or my community. I thank you. And right now it's very, very trying times. Um, Very trying times. I don't feel like I'm safe. I don't feel like quite a few people are safe. I won't get too explicit, but I mean, every other day there's a made up story to troll me. The interesting thing is, well, some of those other individuals, uh, knowingly, consciously trolling, are quite dangerous. And a while ago, I've made the decision to try to act like these people don't exist, but I've come to the understanding that they don't know how to uh, you know, act like I don't exist. Apparently, my life belongs to certain people. They'll never come out and say it with their chest, but so I don't know what to think, because every time something positive happens, they start hating on it real bad. I mean, real bad. Uh, Something else that I was thinking about too, because I be seeing all these things about narcissism, different types of narcissism, or whatever, and people's experiences do shape them. Nobody got how they was overnight. Nobody. But a lot of people criticizing me are a lot more cold-blooded than me. But they just hypocritical. Like, if they might be an attractive man and or a man with money, and if they got money, then they don't have to be physically attractive. The money will attract people, so they have a lot of influence and power, where they also manipulate. They do a lot of manipulation because they're able to use their money to influence people to do this and do that. It's the strangest form of irony that they be criticizing me. Like, not too long ago, somebody got upset with me for saying that I mentioned how it was messed up. Somebody was brutally beating on one of their exes, somebody who's no longer here. This was a while ago, this is a while back. And then another man got angry with me, somebody who I used to be a fan of. And it's just like, if you seen the girl face, you know what I'm saying, and she was already kind of light on the lighter side, her face was bad. And I'm thinking to myself, he got upset, but he got women in his family. He got more angry at the fact that I said years ago I criticized somebody. I never advocated for terrorism for nobody. Let me get that out the way. But like, a lot of people talk about domestic violence, and it's something I also been through. I don't like to talk about it because I feel like I'm too black. And I feel like a lot of black people feel like we don't feel pain. Or we don't feel pain the same way females who are not as dark as us, it don't hit the same. I just think they don't think it hit the same. And I think sometimes we let that get to our head. Like we start to minimize a lot of toxicity and abuse. And you know what they say about staying in the sugar honey iced tea too long. After a while, well, you be like, the smell ain't that bad. And it gets to a point where, well, you don't think the smell is or the odor is a problem at all. All little comments over the years about somebody lips or hair texture or skin, like all the gaslighting. Oh, you too sensitive. Like, and then they'll turn around. Oh, you gotta do better. You should have chose better. Or let the man be abusive or nasty. You know what I'm saying? Like, to mess with somebody's reproductive health. But then when you say, all right, screw this, I'm gonna be real blunt. I'm gonna be real, unapologetically, a BITC. You know what? So if you got a history of being crappy towards females, let's just say you in trouble. I'm gonna let you hold your own. Oh, well, how could you do that? And you have the biological capability to give birth to a black son and da 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 da. Like this community will have you going in circles. In circles. By the way, and this is more specifically towards the sisters that's privileged who might have a dark-skinned mother or daughter, right? What y'all don't understand is, in order to raise your black daughter to have the best self-esteem, you can't make her cape for people that hate her and make it clear that they hate her. And they don't hide it. They don't sugarcoat it. And not only that, as if that wasn't bad enough, they have the propensity to go around non-black people and and kiki it up with them and crap on certain types of black females. If you are raising your chocolate daughter to minimize that, and it's no big deal, you still got to come through for those type of brothers as well, because, well, your womb has the biological capability to birth. Listen, you are setting your daughter up for failure, especially if she's on this side of my hand. You setting her up for failure. Because caping for that in general and bending over backwards for that in general, but also simultaneously building your self-esteem and feeling like you the girl, and you know what I'm saying? It don't really mix. A lot of times it don't mix. See, and I'm speaking from a little bit of personal experience. Apparently, since I have these controversy hanging over my head, I'm not allowed to talk about nothing else. But I'm a grown woman. And there's plenty of men who hate me, who have blood on their hands, and did other things, and even got a nasty history with minors. They get to talk about whatever they talk about. So, and this is my own social media account and profile. I'm gonna speak to certain subjects that my spirit tells me or compels me to talk about. This thing been on my mind for a little while, especially after getting followed around town by sisters that's privileged, that's lighter than me. Because I said something getting out of the bathtub, I be having random thoughts pop in my head sometimes. And I was like, yo, I thought about a time where somebody hurt my feelings, like, so bad. And this was when I was really, really black love, black babies. Sometimes I had non-black men that would hit on me and I turned them down. And this person just, I don't know, like sometimes they allow people to be really, really mean-spirited to me, and they don't understand the psychological, mental, emotional, spiritual battles I was dealing with, and even dealing with the spirit of suicide. They don't understand. They didn't. I don't think they cared, because I think deep down inside they also have a disdain for dark-skinned girls from my tribe. But anyways, I was like, well, if you're in trouble, go get the light-skinned chick to handle it for you. How about that? Next thing I know, I see some very, very, very aggressive looking females on this side of my hand, got boots on, sweatpants, hair scarf. I kind of know what that means. And I had to say to myself, since I don't have any privacy in my house, and mind you, I was getting out the shower when I said that. By the way, my mother is mixed from her father's side, Native American and black. So my grandmother on my mother's side was kind of light. She wasn't real light. She was but she was light enough from being black and Native American. So it's kind of odd from the jump that, like the other day, it became an issue that I said light skin. I have plenty of light skinned women in my family. So that was kind of odd. But I felt the need to give context, even though low key I don't have to. I think people who know me know where I'm coming from, because I'm never talking about an entire group or demographic of people. But I encourage them for the privileged sisters on this side of the hand that love them some dark chocolate, you know what I'm saying, brothers, right? And you have black ass dark skinned daughters. Would you want your daughter to bend over backwards and risk it all for brothers who not only disrespect her and other dark skinned girls like her, but literally sit around with other people who are not black and advocate for violence and joke about violence against her and constantly dehumanize her, even in front of non-black people, which in turn sometimes it inspires them to disrespect her. It inspires them to slam her on her head in the classroom. It inspires them to, you know what I'm saying, or take her life. It makes them feel more comfortable doing these things. Some of y'all have dark-skinned mothers. Some of y'all have dark-skinned daughters. My controversy aside, this is an actual problem in the black community that not a lot of black people like to admit or speak on or address. Would you want her to always bend over backwards for guys like that? Or they'll laugh in her face if she says she need help and they supposed to be woke or whatever. Like, I'm trying to understand the logic. I'm not even being funny right now. But then again, I honestly think that certain light-skinned black females, even for the ones who might have dark-skinned daughters and nieces and stuff like that, like they only love dark-skinned black men. Kind of like some non-black women they only like black men, but they got a problem with black females. I'm afraid that certain light-skinned sisters, had a little tongue twister, they might be like that. Like, it don't occur to them, like, yeah, I got a dark-skinned daughter, like, so I'm never going to be cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Or raising her in an environment or making her feel like the disrespect it's no big deal. And she's overreacting. Because I feel like if you could disrespect black women, then you can deal with white supremacy by yourself. You can handle that all by yourself. And I'm sorry if that offends anybody. But some people can't stand dark-skinned black girl children. Especially the ones that, whenever I talk about anything terrible that I experienced, ain't me trying to be a victim. I wasn't trying to be a victim when this community killed my father and I ended up where I ended up. But sometimes I went through some things. I did. And sometimes when I speak on it, I would hear indirect things. It was no compassion. It was no empathy. Or no context and no contextualizing my history. Or even the part about the inappropriate introduction to sex. This is the same guy who knows how to humanize brothers when they're in the wrong. Even the ones that got a history of beating on females. He can still humanize them when they go to jail or beat on somebody. Like, he can still humanize them. But I was referring to being a child and sometimes liking the way certain things felt that I shouldn't have been feeling, or certain people's hands who shouldn't have been on me. It's always violence, 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 violence. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, a lot of the hate that I'm dealing with It didn't start in 2017 or 2016. It's the hatred of the female body. That's what I think it is. That's what I think it is. These guys will never come out with their chest and say it. They never come out with their chest and say it. But with some of this, it's funny how I have spoken to certain non-black females who get where I'm coming from. They don't try to gaslight me. Like, yeah, humans are sexual beings by nature. And even children feel sensations. And children can feel sensations of pleasure. Even if, unfortunately, they're introduced to something too early and it's a violation. It's a situation where they're not able to consent. They can still climax. This is biology. You know how much you gotta hate that child? Everything is violence with a dark-skinned black girl. You couldn't handle the colorism. You too soft. You had a inappropriate introduction to sex. Now you a thought. And you used to wild out or whatever. You went through this. You ended up going to therapy and being on and off medication. You're weak. You this, you that. Very seldom do you ever hear, this shouldn't have happened to you. And why in the hell me saying that means I want to be a victim? Or maybe I want somebody to humanize my shit the way they can humanize all these toxic men. I am not perfect by a long shot, but I never decided to be a domestic terrorist or drag a whole bunch of people, strangers, into this that don't know me from a can of paint. A lot of the people judging me and criticizing me is the strangest thing. It is the strangest thing to me. But yeah, I started praying more and doing stuff spiritually. It's certain cravings that I find myself not being that interested in. When you doing the spiritual work, if you taking it seriously, a lot of worldly things, you start to want them a lot less. And maybe I'm saying too much. But yeah, something else weird happened recently on another note, where I feel like people have been trying to get my hopes up high for something that's not going to happen. It's just too many clues that point to it not happening. I'm not going to say exactly what it is. And I know this might not be the best technique for manifestation, but I never get too excited about stuff in the first place. Unless I know for certain. And then I was like, that's interesting. Stuff is being changed mainly on the days that I have appointments. That's interesting. Very interesting. But the fact that the last message I sent, I ain't get a response. Yeah. Or I'm feeling uncomfortable, but I reluctantly asked. I was never rude. I was never disrespectful. I didn't get the street address. I didn't get the time to show up to this thing or the street address. No response. That told me everything I needed to know. Sometimes when you get a bad feeling and your spidey senses go off and start tingling and you get bad vibes, that it's for a reason. And now it's like all these theories then popped up in my head. Like, is this a way to make me exhaust whatever I have right now and cancel everything that I have going on? I got so much to do next week. It's just something to make you think and wonder. But I don't feel safe around here. I don't feel safe around here. I'm tired of the people around here. And again, it's not everybody. And the guy that be riding a bike, I'm gonna have to let him know to stay away from me because I'm not even comfortable around him. He know who he is. Don't get too close to me. I'm not comfortable around you. I'm gonna let him know when I see him. Like, I don't want you too close to me because, like, I don't know, like, to act like you was cool with my ex when my ex was still living. You acted like you was cool while he was alive. But there's been times where you and your partner have made me uncomfortable, and you know what I'm talking about. I don't bother you. I don't get in her way. Also, I'm clearly African American. I'm not Hispanic. I'm not Latin, even though a lot of them come in different colors. It's some Latin people as dark as me or darker. This is for somebody who lives around here who rides a bike. And I'm wondering, damn, like, you had a problem. You probably had a problem with my ex the whole time. The whole time. See him at the strangest times. And sometimes I feel like he be getting in my way and being rude. And I ignore it. Even though sometimes the trolling and harassment, you can't ignore everything.